What's up, sports fans? This is Jake Waxman
and Tyler Lavalette,
bringing you another Friday Roundtable from the two of us here at the studio in Waterford, Michigan. Before we get started, to all those who are watching this video, all the sports fans out there, to everyone out there, me and Tyler would like to wish you a very happy Valentine's Day.
Indeed.
We hope you are smiling out there as much as me and Tyler are right now, and hopefully your day is going very, very well. Now, with that being said, Tyler Lavalette, take it away.
Thank you, Jake Waxman. And boy, did anyone expect the three-peat dream to die in a way it did on Sunday night. Granted, there were folks like myself who had the Eagles winning, but to have going to the halftime with the Chiefs not on the board? Did anyone think that was going to happen? And I thought the 13-3 Super Bowl game we had a few years back was crazy enough for how low scoring that was. Yeah. This was just low scoring or non-existent scoring by one team, and they're the one that's the big juggernaut in the AFC right now, too, no less. Like, what the heck happened with the Chiefs? Mahomes, Kelsey, Isaac Pacheco on the guide on defense. What happened?
No question, the Chiefs have been asking themselves that question for the last few days. What happened? What went wrong? That is something that the Chiefs are going to be asking themselves all offseason. I mean, the game did not start off good for them. And as Tyler mentioned, no score at the half. The biggest thing I will say is I kind of thought at first, all right, they're not out of it yet. All right, still a chance for them to go and come back and win this Super Bowl and make the three-peat dream a reality. But they needed to score on that first drive. And you know what? When they didn't score on that first drive, that's when I said to myself, the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, and they're going to cruise. Like that fourth quarter, and as Tyler told me in a text message, it pretty much was a fourth quarter coronation. All the Eagles had to do was just hold on to the rock and run things out from there. But, you know, I'll admit, I'm not too good at predicting NFL games. Okay. You know, we all fall short there. I fell way short off the mark this
That's
year.
another statement.
But here's the thing. Not many people saw this coming. I thought the Chiefs would win a close one. I knew they weren't going to blow out the Eagles. And if the Eagles would win, I thought it'd be a close one too, no matter who won. Well, guess what? We got the unexpected blowout. The Eagles, they flew high for the full 60 minutes. And Kansas City never had a chance. Back to you, Tyler.
Not at all. The Eagles just had their parade earlier today on Broad Street in downtown Philly. The Chiefs didn't at all. Because at the end of the day, that's where you really know what is happening. And the Eagles are going to be getting their banner raising to start the 25 season. And there's a lot of talk it could be hosted against the Lions. We'll just have to wait until May when the schedule comes out for the 25 season.
We have a bit of a contrast of opinions here, as I'm about to state. So Tyler mentioned the Lions. I heard it's a possibility they could open up against the Bears on Thursday to open the NFL season. We'll see who's right about that. But regardless, you know, the Eagles, great team. I underestimated them. They got a stacked defense, stacked offense, just pieces everywhere, and they should retain most of those pieces going into next season. That is for sure. Here's the thing. Another question going into this offseason. I've been hearing some word about this. Nothing official yet. The Chiefs have been talking with Travis Kelce, and they have told him that they have, they told him, Travis Kelce, you have until early March. I think March 7th. I could be wrong, but you have until early March to decide your plans for next season. Are you coming back one more year, or are you retiring for good? So, will Travis Kelce retire? That's another question. Back to you, Tyler.
At least we didn't get the possibility of him proposing to Taylor Swift. Not that I'm saying that the Swiftie influence is bad or anything, because, hey, the NFL getting a big boost from female viewership, from her predominantly female fan base. But the general populace who is not a big fan of her enjoyed not seeing her on television all that much on Sunday night, if at all. Well, she wasn't on it, but the lack of her being shown was definitely apparent when the scoreline kept getting in the Eagles' favor.
Absolutely. Another thing, so this is just a side note. So we all know, yes, Taylor Swift got booed during the Super Bowl. But from what I've come to understand, she was not as hurt by being booed by the fans as much as Travis Kelce was. Apparently, he was reported to be distraught, just a little upset by Eagles, not just Eagles fans, but everyone who booed Taylor Swift. He took that personally, from what I understand. So, I guess throw in one more storyline or add more insult to injury for the Chiefs.
It wasn't just that Taylor got booed. It was the team, when they came out, that got the boo-birds. Think about when the team intros happened. You know, the Chiefs, like I said, they got booed. The Eagles got cheered. Were we at the Superdome or the Link up in Philly? Because it just felt that way, like if we were at an Eagles home game.
100% agree with that. I think there were a lot more Eagles, maybe not a lot more, but plenty more Eagles fans than there were Chiefs fans. You just can't underestimate Philly. All right, they come out ready to rock, whether they win or lose the Super Bowl. In both the Super Bowl and in Philadelphia. I mean, I saw a video of a street lamp that was just getting stomped in. Like, people were stomping in the lights. Like, those lamps are not cheap, you know. Come on, Eagles fans.
They grease the poles for a reason, guys.
Sadly, it was not enough to stop Eagles fans. No, and you know what? If greasing the poles isn't enough to stop Eagles fans, I'm sorry. Nothing is. You just got to live with it. But I guess in short, all right, for some final thoughts, congrats to the Eagles. Another Super Bowl championship. I got a feeling with this core, it's not going to be their last one. And Kansas City, or the Kansas City Chiefs so far, depending on what happens with Travis Kelce, they're not just going to go away, okay? They'll be back, all right? They'll return. They got Patrick Mahomes on that team. And, you know, he had probably his worst Super Bowl ever, but he'll learn from this, and the Chiefs will grow from this.
That they will. I will start to worry when Mahomes' numbers starts to drop, you know, in playing games, you know. That is when you start to realize the decline of this team. Kelce can be replaceable. Mahomes, eventually, yeah, you will replace him and maybe trade him. But you still got plenty of time left in the tank, you know.
Absolutely. Time will tell. Well, I mean, like I said, I don't think the Chiefs are done yet, but you know what? One never knows, you know? It all depends on how much more, like Tyler said, Patrick Mahomes has in it, and, you know, there are going to be some more contract negotiations in the offseason for the Chiefs to kind of work through, so, you know, all comes down to those little things like that. But should be an interesting offseason for the Kansas City Chiefs. And for the Philadelphia Eagles, offseason of celebration and a whole lot of partying in the city of brotherly love.
Enjoy getting the banner raising to start the 25 season, no matter who you're hosting, Eagles. You've earned it.
Absolutely. Kudos to the Eagles, and hey, kudos to the Chiefs on a fantastic season. Anyway, shifting gears to some college basketball. So, sports fans, I thought you should know that this past Tuesday, I had the fortune of attending the Purdue at Michigan game at the Crisler Center at the University of Michigan with my father, who is a Purdue alumni, and my brother had a great time with them, had a lot of fun. Yeah, well, Purdue, it was the first game I went to as a Boilermaker fan that I had to watch Purdue lose. You guys can, hope you Michigan fans take delight in that. Oh, let me guess. You want a video clip, don't you? Well, yeah, I'll give you guys one. Can we roll the clip, please? So, in this upcoming clip, here we go. So, this is a clip. This is where I was sitting at the game on Tuesday. We had really good seats, thanks to my brother who got tickets for the game.
Nice.
Here's Braden Smith on the jumper, makes a nice basket. This is a part of his game that he has been working extremely hard on all season long. His jumpers from last year, it's taken massive steps forward. And even on the tough angle ones, he can make those jumpers happen. So, some footage from the game. And I like to, you know what? I just enjoy going to college basketball games, and I take footage anyway. So I wanted to get some for not just for my enjoyment, but for you sports fans. I wanted you guys to see what I could see from my seats. All right, Tyler Lavalette, talk about whatever you'd like to talk about in reference to this game.
Well, from what I wish I would be able to watch, unfortunately they're putting a lot of games on the streaming services, which makes it a little challenging, but what can you do? Anyway, Michigan is pretty good in the Big Ten right now. They're definitely a lock for first round in a bye into the quarters, finals, or however it's going to be for the tournament going forward. Now there's more both teams involved, but regardless, I still like Michigan's chances going into the Big Ten tournament play, and even March Madness down the road if they go all the way and win the Big Ten tournament. This team has been playing pretty well, and like I said, they're top the standings in the overall Big Ten conference for a good reason. Their new head coach has been firing on all cylinders right now. The team's doing good, as what Jake saw on Tuesday night. It's promising. And if as a Michigan fan, and if any Michigan fan out there, that's what you want to see. You want to be able to enjoy seeing this team play. And you clearly are.
Yes, indeed. Before I get into what I'm about to say next, I just want to say this. To NBC and to Peacock. Boo! That's right. Like Tyler, I'm not a big Peacock fan. I mean, I do have it just to watch the Purdue basketball. And my mom was telling me the feed was so bad on Tuesday. We couldn't even really watch the game. So Tyler, even if Tyler could watch it, it was not a good experience due to the feed issues. Like, come on. So anyway, Tyler said it. Dusty May has done a really good job turning this Michigan program around in just a short amount of time. I kind of thought, okay, they'll have some good games this year, and they'll have a shot at getting into the NCAA tournament. Well, this year they're kind of ahead of schedule so far. They're more than in, and with that win against Purdue, they're in for sure, and they're right in the Big Ten title race in Dusty May's first season. That's incredible, considering what he had to take over, because Michigan had just moved on from Juwan Howard. That experiment didn't work out.
Yeah.
But Dusty May right now doing a really fantastic job getting these players that he had in the portal, what he got in the portal and what he had already on the team, and he's maximizing what he's got and has turned this Michigan team into a Big Ten title contender and maybe a team that might just get to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. What say you, Tyler?
Yeah, definitely seems promising. Now, we'll just have to see what happens going forward in these final few regular season weeks. But, yeah, if any Michigan fan out there, like I said, keep enjoying this. And, yeah, even if I did still have access to Peacock, not sure if I still do, the stream quality being not so good, that's the thing they're not getting. If people might not have the best internet connection or something. I don't know. But still, you can say streaming is the future of live sports all you want, but internet connection is going to be stingy at times.
Absolutely. Yeah, streaming is the future, but it still has a ways to go too, as Tyler mentioned. A couple other thoughts. So I ran into some people at the game. So my dad got a text message during the game. This is just from experience. He got a text message from one of his fraternity brothers and his wife at the game. So we stopped by to talk to them. It's great to see them. And I actually had conversations with a Michigan fan who was sitting right next to us, and he sure was friendly and knew a lot about the game of basketball. So it was nice to have. It's nice to have conversations with fans of rival teams. But this guy was friendly, very classy. We enjoyed talking about the game. Both of us went through kind of the roller coaster of emotions, but I mean, sure, I didn't like Purdue losing, but I was happy for him. We shook hands after the game, and I told him it was good to meet him.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really nice experience, and that's something that I'm gonna remember from that game is having conversations with a very friendly Michigan fan. And so, hey, all the fan bases, they got friendly fans out there. In Michigan, you definitely got yours. So kudos to you, and kudos to the Michigan fans for showing up to the game, all right? You know, last year, Purdue fans took over the game. It was like, I think, 52%, 48% in favor of Boilermaker Nation. This year, a whole lot more Michigan fans. I didn't see as many Purdue fans, so they brought the energy. So props to the Michigan fans. Now, a couple final thoughts. I just want to talk about Purdue basketball. Okay. Yes, guys, I did throw a fit about the referees in my wax on Wednesday. I'm not here to do that. I've said what needs to be said. They're not the reason they lost the game. Purdue lost this game for a number of different reasons, one of which, lack of scoring depth. Only our 5 starters scored in the game. You can't win basketball games if you don't get bench production. So going forward, Purdue needs to find a way to get their bench players to get involved in the game and have them even scoring, like, just say 5 points a game. If we get more from the bench, Purdue will do much better in the NCAA tournament. But they could lose at any time because the bench disappears at the worst possible time. And that's no knock on these Boilermaker players because they work so hard on their game. No question. I don't want to knock them down too much. We just need more from them. The bench, all right? The starters are doing good. Braden Smith, of course, he's doing his thing. Trey Kaufman doing his thing. And same with Fletcher Lawyer, but we need more from the bench. And also, scoreless droughts. You got to avoid them. We can't just, when Trey Kaufman comes in the game, we need to figure out how to keep the momentum on offense. That's another thing. And also, just not letting this stuff go to our heads, all right? And not getting too overly frustrated. So, for these reasons that I've mentioned, that's why Purdue lost this game. And they had a double-digit lead twice in this game and blew both double-digit leads, all right? So if you want to win games on a consistent basis, got to keep that momentum. You got to play hard, got to stay focused, full 40-minute effort. That's where I leave this topic. Any final thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, you can't really half-bake these game situations if only your starters are scoring. Not good. Not good at all. And again, kudos to those one Michigan fan that Jake mentioned. That's good sportsmanship right there and being friendly to a fan of an opposing team. Good job, guys. Good job to the team fan that showed. And like I said, good job to that fan that he talked to. Like I said, that is just good Midwest hospitality at its finest.
Indeed. Even despite some of the pain I felt watching the Purdue Boilermakers lose, hey, it was nice to be able to talk to some people besides those that I went to the game with. Again, like I said, I had a blast with my brother and my father. It's always I just enjoy March Madness for these reasons. And you know what? Being able to talk to fans, even the fans of the opposing team, it's a wonderful thing. And it makes the experience all the more wholesome. So now, with all that being said, and to close it off, once again, Michigan, congrats on your great season so far. And good luck. Keep it up. And hopefully, maybe we'll see. Maybe Purdue and Michigan can have a rematch in the Big Ten tournament. We'll find out. Time to shift gears. Tyler, the floor is yours.
Well, I don't think anyone was surprised about the way this ended. Aaron Rodgers is no longer with the New York Jets after 2 disastrous seasons. One that only lasted a few plays on Monday Night Football, and one where his drive production just really was not there at all. His time in the Big Apple is over. Now the question is, what's next for him?
Oh my God. You know what? I get tired of talking about it. I mean, it does make things interesting to talk about Aaron Rodgers, but let's be real. I'm a Bears fan, and you know what? I know Aaron Rodgers is no longer with the Green Bay Packers, now no longer with the Jets, but talking about him just drives me bonkers, man. Like, literally, we got to talk about this prima donna. That's literally what he is. That's what I think of him. He's an egotistic prima donna. I'm not going to hide my bias there. Great quarterback, okay? One of the NFL's all-time greats. But my goodness, he's such an insufferable prima donna. So, you guys know how I feel about him, but to hear the news that now that he's not back with the Jets doesn't surprise me at all. He was not, you know what? He wanted all the power in New York, and at the end of the whole thing, he has none of it. I mean, just wow. I knew the experiment with the New York Jets was not going to work out because, one, it's the New York Jets. The Jets are going to jet. They're going to crash and burn.
Yes.
Sorry, New York Jets fans. And then, two, I kind of felt, okay, Rodgers doesn't have much left. So, I don't know. We'll see if he ends up with another NFL team. I've heard the Steelers might be interested in him. We'll see. But, you know, I've got a feeling this is probably it for Aaron Rodgers. And I will also say this, okay? If this is it for Aaron Rodgers, all right, congrats on a great career. I salute you. But my goodness, you drove me bonkers, Rodgers. Thanks for the painful memories.
Okay, I'll give you some more.
Oh.
Let's see how. Okay. Stay calm. This is adding too much. Okay. You want more?
Oh, no.
How about following the Brett Favre playbook to go from Green Bay to the Jets to Minnesota? You want that? You want it? You want it? What to you?
You just had to bring that up, didn't you, Tom? Although I will say this, okay? I know the first year Brett Favre was in Minnesota, he scorched the Bears, but then the second year, the Bears might have ended his career. I don't know. I mean, they knocked him out of the second game between the Bears and the Vikings that in 2010, I believe it was, with an injury. Right. And after that, he didn't play a football game after. He might have played after that, but he didn't play another season or another snap after that season. So, you know, if history is to repeat itself, Aaron Rodgers, you tortured my Bears. And if you come to Minnesota, Caleb Williams and the Bears, we're going to do they are going to do their best to make sure you pay up for all the emotional damage you did to the Chicago Bears and to Bears Nation. That's what I got to say about this subject.
I will say this, though, as a Lions fan. We do not forget about the miracle in Motown 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Nor do we forgive about it. If he should come to Minnesota and play in their purple jerseys, the Lions will also make sure the payment is due. And it won't be pretty. Oof. They think they're going to try to beat us in the NFC North. Good luck. We've wanted to not deal with you anymore, Rodgers. And we're going to make sure the payments, so to speak, are paid in full for what you did with Green Bay for so many years.
Absolutely. And you know what? As a Bears fan, we got a lot more painful memories than the Lions have to mention. NFC Championship 2011, that 2012 regular season finale where he threw that pass to Randall Cobb. I haven't forgotten about those, and I have not forgiven Aaron Rodgers for that. So you know what? You come to the NFC North, Aaron Rodgers, you decide you want to try this again with the NFC North, we are going to, and even Green Bay too, but the Bears and the Lions, most of all, we are going to make sure the rent is due and on time. We're going to make sure you pay up, and we are going to make sure you discount double check the pain that we plan to deliver to you.
So, yeah, we'll just see if this even happens. I mean, these threats that we made could very well be nothing burgers if he retires. Mm-hmm. And that, okay, I say, okay, we'll let you off the hook, but we'll see. This offseason is going to be quite interesting for him going forward. So, yeah, we'll just have to just wait and see what happens now he's a free agent.
Absolutely. I've got a feeling that probably, if I'm guessing, he's probably ready to be done with football. And you know what? If he retires, well, Aaron Rodgers, if you decide to retire, congrats on a great career. You deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I will give you that much.
Agreed.
And I will also say this. If you decide to retire instead of coming to the NFC North, I forgive you, but I will not forget what you did to my Chicago Bears. Any last thoughts, Tyler?
I think I can do the same for what happened in 2015 as well. For that Hail Mary finish of his on an untimed down because of a face mask penalty. Hey, I don't like it. But if he does hang up the helmet, all for him. You have every right to do so. It's your call, Aaron. We'll see what happens.
Time will tell. Whatever Aaron Rodgers decides, I mean, I'll respect it. Just doesn't mean I have to like it either. But if he decides to retire, kudos and congrats to him.
Absolutely. Anyway, Jake, you have a couple of good, interesting opinions on this next topic, I assume.
Oh, boy. So this is a story. What I'm about to talk to you sports fans about is a story that's suddenly gaining traction. So according to a lot of sources, including those around Chapel Hill in North Carolina, the higher-ups of North Carolina University, or at least the higher-ups of the athletic department, maybe more, are looking to potentially shake things up for North Carolina basketball in terms of home games. So from what I'm hearing, they are either looking to make upgrades to the Dean Smith Center. Forgive me if I butchered that name. I believe it's called the Dean Smith Center in North Carolina. That's the name of their basketball arena. They're either looking to upgrade it or they're looking to tear that down, build a new arena, and possibly not only build a new arena, but to build it off campus. I'm sorry, what? Okay, Tyler, go ahead. I need a minute to process.
I can understand doing upgrades. Okay, no big deal. I mean, it's only 40 years old. But off campus? Why? Why would you want to not play on the site on UNC campus and have it be somewhat a little away from where they're at, probably still in Chapel Hill? What's wrong with the Dean Center? I can't find anything wrong with it. It looks sound and all, so.
Yeah.
I just
go ahead.
Don't see why it needs to be replaced. Not at all.
Right now, Tyler, neither do I. I just don't see what's wrong. I have heard some reports maybe that there might be some problems with the roof, but they should be able to you know what? You should be able to raise the money because basketball and football bring in a lot of money for North Carolina every year. They should be able to find the money to make some repairs to it. But that's just my take. Anyways, here's something I really don't like about it. The biggest thing I don't like, of course, I can understand if they need to build a new arena, but what I really am against is building the arena off campus for a number of different reasons. One of which is you take away the good vibes from the campus. You know, when some people like me, when we go to college sporting events, like on a certain college campus, we like to take a walk around and see some of the sites. Like The first time I went to Purdue for a football game, I went around and saw the sights. You know, it's good to see like some of the structures that make a college campus iconic. And you know what? One of the big draws for like, say, the skyline of a college campus is the sporting venues, the basketball arenas, the football fields. Those are a big draw. And you know what? One of the big draw for North Carolina when it comes to icons of the campus in Chapel Hill is the Dean Smith Center. And it is a fabulous basketball arena. I've seen pictures of it. The inside, it looks so cool. And keep in mind, the Dean Smith Center, it was opened on November, I have the wrong one. So the Dean Smith Center, it was opened on January 18th, 1986. It's going to be 40 years old. That's not that old for a college venue. Right now, look, people want to see these icons and these landmarks. And you know what? Considering that North Carolina is all about basketball. They love basketball. North Carolina, they're called a blue blood of college basketball. Blue bloods do not move their basketball away from the campus. That's a part of recruiting, too, and that's going to hurt the bottom line there. Go ahead and say more, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, you think Duke is wanting to replace Cameron? I'm not heard anything. I hope they don't. And that stadium's iconic, too, when you think about the Tobacco Road rivalry. So don't. It's not super broken. Don't fix it. I mean, okay, maybe do upgrades, but if it ain't broke, it's fine.
Absolutely. And speaking of, as Tyler mentioned, Cameron Indoor Arena, I'm going to go through a list. Like, if North Carolina, for some reason, is worried about the age and the maintenance of the Dean Smith Center, here's some things that I think they should consider. There are older arenas that are still going strong. Let me name some of you. Mackey Arena, the home of the Purdue Boilermakers. That was opened in 1967.
Okay.
Assembly Hall, opened September 12th, 1971. That was before that arena. Tyler, you mentioned Cameron Indoor Arena. Mm-hmm. How about this? Opened January 6th, 1940. That arena, 20 years from now, or less than 20 years from now, is going to be 100 years old. It'll be a cathedral of college basketball. And it's still going strong.
Yeah, Duke gets it. Mm-hmm. That's a stadium that deserves to hit the centenary mark.
Absolutely. And just for you, Tyler, I'll mention the Breslin Center, the home of the Michigan State Spartans, November 8th, 1989. That's a younger stadium. Still going strong there. Here's a big one. Here's one that is really going strong. Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, home to the Butler Bulldogs. March 7th, 1928. Soon that place will be 100 years old. That is considered the cathedral of college hoops. And you know what? It looks like a factory when you go in there, and yet the place is still vibing. It's still got great life in it. Look, bottom line is this, okay? If you need to build a new stadium, fine, okay? I'd rather they upgrade the Dean Smith Center, but if they need to build a new arena, fine. But keep it on the campus. That gives a college life. That brings a high vibe. People want to be, college students who are interested in college sports, they want to be able to walk to their favorite team's arena. They don't want to have to just go and travel by car or bus to the arena because it's away from the campus. We want to be able to walk. That's a part of campus culture. It's, as I mentioned, big on recruiting, big on the athletes, too. They don't want to go travel, practice on campus and then have to play away from the campus to basically play their home basketball games. It just takes so many elements out of it. This is the big problem I have with this whole thing. Back to you, Tyler.
Jake is right, you know. Why, like I keep saying, why mess with a good thing? And he brings up all those old arenas. Yeah, they're going strong. They're not going anywhere. So, yeah, don't do it. Just upgrade the stadium, and you're good.
Indeed. to close the subject out, a few things. Okay, as Tyler mentioned, upgrade the Dean Smith Center. Give it the proper maintenance it needs, and it will last, just like Hinkle has lasted the test of time. All right? And more importantly, preserve the college experience. Preserve that. Being able to walk to that cluster of athletic fields, like, for example, at Purdue, Mackey Arena and Ross 8 are right next to each other. Being able to walk to football and basketball games, being able to take that special walk that makes the college experience so special. That is something that the higher-ups need to not at North Carolina. Do not overlook the college experience. You don't overlook it. It is a beautiful thing. Even North Carolina, one of the blue bloods of college hoops, needs this kind of experience for their students.
You had similar experiences when you went to Oregon University games.
Absolutely. The arena was not a far walk from where I lived on campus. It was wonderful.
So, yeah, and of course, Michigan's like that way, too. You got Crisler next to the Michigan Stadium, so...
That is a wonderful thing about Michigan, having the Crisler Center and the Big House right next to each other. And some people who were going into the game actually walked through the Big House to even get into the game. It was really kind of cool. I think it was the student section.
Yeah, I mean, when I did volunteer work for games at Michigan, we would enter through the Crisler Center first for signing and stuff. When I did a few Michigan concessions at a few Michigan Stadium games, so it makes sense to have them next to each other.
Indeed. One other thing I'd like to add real quick. The capacity of the Dean Smith Center is 21,750. That's a lot. But you know what? With how big North Carolina basketball is, it's a big capacity, but it's fine too. If you need to shrink that capacity, remove some seats and then do some renovation so that it makes the stadium not look as empty. And that's another problem with building a stadium away from campus. You're not going to sell those seats out because people don't want to have to travel out of their way to go to these games. Like, I've seen teams like Marquette. They've had Marquette, for example. They have a stadium that's away from the campus. I could be wrong. Same with, actually, DePaul's a bigger example. They have trouble selling out seats because the arena is away from the main campus. So that's another problem because of the inconveniences and the going out of the way to play basketball games. That's going to hurt attendance a lot.
Yeah, that is not good at all.
Indeed.
Stay on campus. And, yeah, I can kind of understand why a team like DePaul would want to play elsewhere, but it does not reflect well in your stadium attendances.
Indeed.
So it's not a good look at all.
Yep. I'm going to say one final thing to the higher-ups of North Carolina. Stay on campus. Stay in Chapel Hill. Mm-hmm. That's where I leave this subject. All right, Tyler, to wrap things up, so we got a few more things. I believe the Daytona 500's this weekend. Great American race, Tyler.
That it is. We just had the lineup set by both front row qualifying Wednesday night and then the duels yesterday. Chase Elliott had a rough start because of brake problems and his heat, but he was definitely going to be in the 500 as a charter team, so no questions there. Elio Castaneda got involved in the wreck. He's definitely taking a provisional. Eric Jones was close to beating Austin Cindric in Duel 2, but a late caution on at the two drivers on turn 4 gave the win to Cindric in controversial fashion based on the timing of the caution light. Oh, yeah.
I did see that the news article that Cindric had won the second duel. So the biggest thing that'll be interesting about this race, 4th year for the Generation 7 car. Wonder what kind of new things they've introduced to kind of help not only keep the field together, but also the competitiveness of this race. You know, when are the cautions when's it gonna start when the cautions breed the cautions? That's one thing I'll be watching for. Who's gonna have the faster horses? You know, which manufacturer is Ford gonna be faster? Does Chevrolet got it? Or does Toyota got something new underneath that hood? That is something I'm gonna be watching for in this Daytona 500. Or keeping tabs with it. As for my prediction, I feel like it's Ryan Blaney's time. I feel like he's won the championship. He's been fast at Daytona in the past. The Ford's got all those ponies under the hood. I'm going with Ryan Blaney to win the Daytona 500. Back to you, Tyler.
I got Chase Elliott winning, and yes, Chevrolet just running its old Camaro, now discontinued, and it's not using the model name anymore. Not sure what they're gonna do for 26 and beyond. But like Blaney, Elliott's a champion. He hadn't won 500 yet. I think it can still be his time, even if he didn't have the best of outcomes in Duel 1. I mean, he did lead some race, but still, we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Should be a very interesting race. I'll close off this subject by wishing the best of luck to Doug Yates and Todd, who works for Roush Yates Engines. I want to wish them the best of luck this season. They're going for a 4th straight championship. Working on those. And I had as I mentioned, I had the fortune of seeing the shop in a tour. I couldn't take pictures there or video.
Right.
But it was a very nice tour. And those two guys, class acts. All the things they showed me, including past checkered flags they had taken. It was a really nice experience. So in the light of that, I want to wish both of those guys success this upcoming season. Going for 4 in a row for Ford Motor Company and Roush Yates Engines.
Yeah, definitely well-deserved. That engine plant's got something good cooking. Now, the thing is, the races got bumped, the start kind of got bumped up an hour because of rain concerns because Florida. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Good to know, too, for those who may not have been paying attention. So enjoy the Daytona 500, everyone. All right, before we conclude this show, okay, my mom gave me this suggestion, and we'll talk a little bit about it. So before there was the Super Bowl this weekend, there was the dog kennel show going on, or the kennel club show going on, where dogs compete in, I believe, what is like a track and field style of event. So one dog caught our attention. She goes by the name Shelby Cobra. And, sports fans, what you are about to see is wicked good stuff. Can we see the clip, please? Mm-hmm. Watch Shelby Cobra, the border collie. And here she goes, going up. Look at that speed, that lateral change in direction. She's so fast. Look at the jump, the verticality, so good. Going down the ramp. Things are going to get really good in a couple of seconds. And watch this. Look at that change, that lateral direction changing. That is ridiculous.
Wow. Just,
whoo. Oh, my goodness. This dog, down the teeter-totter. Look up the hill.
Down.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. That dog is special.
Not much, if any, deductions at all that I could see on that clip.
Absolutely. That was so cool. And yes, sport. In case you're wondering, for those of you wondering, is this really a sport, Jake? Fox Sports was showing this. Yes, it's a sport. Yes, dogs can be athletic. They can compete. And sometimes we'd rather just watch dogs than humans compete. I mean, it's Valentine's Day. I'm expressing my love for dogs. I love dogs. So I just wanted you folks to see this and just show how I wanted to show you guys how impressive it is when you got a well-trained dog. And by the way, this is good teamwork between the dog and its owner or the trainer. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of training and coordination between these two. So this is really impressive stuff to see. And the dog just runs the course flawlessly. You see it doing all this stuff. Any other thoughts you wanted to say about this, Tyler?
Yeah, that's just impressive during the Westminster Agility Competition. Not sure if the dog show has happened yet or the main dog show in MSG has happened yet or not, but we had the dog agility competition the day prior to the Super Bowl on Fox. So, yeah, it's an event that happened. Fox Sports aired it. So, yes, it happened. It's a sport.
Definitely a sport. It's just not – it's a sport like no other because the dogs are the star of the show. So, I'm just going to end – one impressive display of speed, agility, skill. Being a guy who used to have a border collie. My family used to have a border collie. They are the smartest dogs in the world. Rocket science, indeed. Mm-hmm. So, to close it off, shout out to Shelby Cobra. What an absolute beast of a dog. What a great dog. All right.
Anthony, if that dog did not win the competition, would have been surprised.
She did win her class. I think there was the 20-pound class. She did win that. And I think another Border Collie, I can't remember its name, won the show overall. So, hey, Border Collies representing.
Nice job, that breed. Nice job.
All right, sports fans, that is all we're going to talk about on this Valentine's Day. We hope you have enjoyed this week's Wax on Wednesday. Special thanks to everyone. Thanks to my man Tyler LaVallette and Mary Jacobs. I want to thank my mom for suggesting the topic of Shelby Cobra. And I want to thank Josh, Jim, everybody who works here in the studios at Waterford. Any questions you guys have for us, leave them below in the comments. We'll try to answer them next week if you'd like to. And anything you want to say, hey, feel free. Follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports on Facebook and Two Guys Talk Sports and other things on YouTube. By the way, we have a special interview upcoming this week, so stay tuned for that. Anything else that needs to be said, Tyler?
Not really much. Just, if you're a NASCAR fan, enjoy Daytona on Sunday and pray that it does not get affected by the rain.
Indeed. Enjoy all the sports this weekend, sports fans. All right. This is Jake Waxman
and Tyler LaVallette
wishing you all a good weekend. Take care, everyone.